Hi, I'm Becca and I'm addicted to media. This is going to be my December 2015 wrap-up. I read 6 books and 9 graphic novels this past month, so that's pretty decent for me. I don't have any of the physical copies anymore because most of them were library books and a lot of them were ebooks. So I have one physical copy. I'm basically going to be holding up my good old Kindle the whole time. The first book that I finished this past month was You're Never Weird on the Internet, Almost, by Felicia Day. I listened to the audiobook and it was fantastic. I really loved hearing Felicia's voice while she read about some of her past experiences in life and how she came to be the internet sensation that she is. It was really interesting to me as a fan of her work. I really enjoyed hearing her talk about how it was to kind of create the guild when there was nothing like it before, and how cool it must have been to be creating this thing that nobody had done before. I'm really interested in film, as in movies, television, that kind of entertainment, and especially the sets. There was this chapter that she talked about how she acquired some of the set dressings, and she basically becomes a hoarder, and that was pretty much the coolest thing to read about because I thought it was hilarious. And my greatest fear as someone who crafts and makes a lot of things and is really interested in design is becoming a hoarder. So it was really funny to hear her talk about that. In the end, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I did not write a review about it. But if I had to scale according to what I usually do in my reviews on Goodreads, I'd probably give it a 4.8. It was fantastic and I really loved reading it or listening to it. The next book that I finished in December was Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, and I quickly followed that with Crest by Marissa Meyer. If you don't know what these are, they are the book 2 and book 3 of the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, and they are fairy tale retellings in a science fiction futuristic type world. And Scarlet is based on the Little Red Riding Hood tale, and Crest is based on the Rapunzel tale. I have full reviews written on Goodreads, so if you want to hear more about my thoughts that are spoilery or non-spoilery, you can read them there, and I will have links in the description to both those reviews. Basically, I rated these both pretty high, actually extremely high now that I just checked. I rated Scarlet a 4.3 on my internal scale, and I rated Crest a 4.4. So I think that the series was really headed in a much better direction from the beginning. The writing has really improved and the characters are just really fun to read about, and I like the ones that were added, especially in Crest. I really enjoyed reading the characters in Crest. And of course, the next book that I ended up picking up was Fairest. Now, when I finished Crest, I was a little hesitant to start Fairest just because I had heard some not so nice things about it. Mainly that people really couldn't get into it as much, and obviously it was very short in comparison to the other books, but I really couldn't stop myself from checking it out, and I did, and I read this as my Christmas book. I read it on Christmas Eve and finished it Christmas Day, and I thought it was pretty good. It was nice to read about Levana's backstory, and I really enjoyed seeing some insight into her thought process on why she is the way that she is. It was disturbing, but it was nice to kind of understand her more, I guess. She's just so evil. Whatever. I enjoyed hearing about how she kind of had more of a rough life than I initially expected. I could not give it more than 3 stars on Goodreads, and I don't think I wrote down a scale based on my internal scale, but I'd probably give it like a 3.2. It just I really liked reading it because it was in the world and I really enjoy the world, but I had a really hard time getting into the story. I feel like I just really don't like Fauna. She's just so evil. The next to last book that I read in December was Soundless by Rochelle Mead, and this one was one of my least favorite books of the year. Just so many things that I did not like about this. And I know that a lot of people are kind of pooping all over this book right now, review-wise, but I just had a lot of structural problems with the story, and the people that are defending it are saying that it has the feel of a Chinese folklore tale, and I get that, but Chinese folklore tales don't have the problems that I'm complaining about generally. So yeah, if you want to hear more about why I really disliked this book, check out my Goodreads review. I'll have it linked below. I think I ultimately ended up giving this like a 2.3 on my scale, maybe a 2.4, and 2 stars on Goodreads. The next and last book, and the only physical copy that I have for this video, was The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. This had a few issues for me. I know in my TBR for December, I mentioned that I was afraid it was going to be too contemporary for my liking, and in the beginning, it was. As I progressed through it, I got a little bit slightly more attached to the characters, but in a pretty superficial way, and I was more engrossed with kind of the story that was happening outside of the character's world. I do have a pretty lengthy Goodreads review, and there are no spoilers in it at all, which is rare for me. I will have it linked down below. Yeah, ultimately I ended up liking this. It was alright. I think I rated this like a 3.3 or 3.4, something like that, maybe a 3.2, probably a 3.2, and it made 3 stars on Goodreads. I'm more excited to pick up other things by Patrick Ness because I've heard that those things are much better, so hopefully I will get around to that in the next few months or so. Now I have my very long string of 9 graphic novels. Most of them were doubles in series. A few of them were just standalone graphic novels. Super Mutant Magic Academy, and I really enjoyed this one. This is the book the graphic novel that made me want to read The Rest of Us Just Live Here because it has similar aspects to it. I just really enjoyed it, and I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The next 3 graphic novels that I read, volumes, were the Bindups of Saga that are volume 3 through 5, and these were fantastic. I'm pretty sure I gave all of them 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely love Saga, and I can't wait to continue with the series when the 6th volume comes out, although I have no idea when that's going to be, and it's killing me that I have to wait. The Encyclopedia of Early Earth This one was really weird. The art style was cute. It's kind of made up of a bunch of different tales, and the tales are tales within tales, and then it comes back out again. That whole story within a story thing. I really like that aspect, but in this, it was weird because it got more confusing the farther into the tales you got of who was the narrator and who wasn't the narrator, or who was the listener. It just was weird. And ended up giving it a 3 out of 5 stars. Lumberjanes Volume 2, Friendship to the Max. I think that this series is really cute, and I definitely liked this one more than I liked the first volume. I think that the storyline is progressing quite nicely, and that I'm getting more and more interested in the characters and the relationships that they have with each other. I'm interested to see what they'll do in the next one, because like kind of a major story arc was solved in a way. So I'm interested to see where it goes, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It's East of West Volume 4, and this series kills me. It's so good. This series and Saga are probably my favorite graphic novel series that I have been reading, or that I read this year. It's just amazing. I love the art style, I love the plot, I love the characters. It's dark, it's gritty, it's totally bizarre. It's kind of the series is kind of like an alternate history type thing with paranormal influences. One of the main characters is Death, and he's a part of the Four Horsemen, so if you know anything about that myth, it's in there in a really big way, and it just, Balloon! Oh my god, why? Balloon, why? Balloon! I ended up giving this one a 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good, and I want to read the next one so bad. Freaking East of West, why are you so beautiful? Why are you so beautiful? Bloody, but beautiful. So beautiful. The last 2 graphic novels that I read this month were a series that I have been reading for like the last 2 months, maybe? I don't know. And that series is called The Unwritten, loosely inspired by Harry Potter in the real world, and it follows Tommy Taylor, whose father wrote a book series that is obviously supposed to be Harry Potter, and used his name as the main character. Some really weird things happen to him, and he's kind of pushed into this world that he never expected. It has a lot to do about writing and authors, and there's many references to famous authors of time, and it's fascinating and a really cool concept, and I like the characters, and I gave volume 5 and 6 5 and 4 stars respectively. Alright, so that was all of the books and graphic novels that I read in this month, and all the ones that I finished. I will probably be filming in the next 2 seconds my TBR for January 2016. Happy New Year, and I will see you in that video. Hopefully this will be up soon. Okay, bye!